Top of the morning. It's another beautiful, bright, you know, Saturday, October the 11th, 2025. I trust that the people all across the nation, all across the world, that you are doing phenomenally well this morning. It's your brother, it's Timon Brown, and I'm coming right back at you with another informative video for your education and mine as well. Why do I say mine as well? Well, because in order for me to educate, I must also be willing to always be open to learn, not only just for myself, but to also be able to learn how to educate, to share, and to present in a much better way. So that way you can get a much better understanding about the value that I am presenting. And what I want to do, I want to take you right here to the catalog, because that in itself is the purpose for this video. Because I want you to be able to see for yourself what the Xooma Worldwide has to offer. So, like I said, I trust that you ladies, right? You know that you're staying healthy, staying well, staying vibrant, staying attractive and sexy. And to the guys out there, fellas, I trust that you are doing everything within inside of your masculine power to make sure that you provide the ladies with all of the reasons to want to continue to do so. And with that, let's go for this little tour, right? So when you come to the Zuma Worldwide catalog, right? This is pretty much the ability being provided to you by the company to learn about what Zuma Worldwide has to offer you, right? So congratulations, because if you're looking at this, then you are definitely someone who cares about your health and the well-being of you and your family, your family, your community, right? Your friends, your associates, because I think that health is an all-encompassing mission in the maintenance and the preservation and the furthering of it, right? So when you look at this, this is pretty much gives you, the history of Zuma Worldwide, the mission statement, and just you know pretty much what the whole purpose of the establishment of this company was based off of. And this pretty much says it for itself. It speaks for itself, to change the health of a generation. And I want you to keep this in mind, right, before I move on, because this is going to be, this is me sharing my time with you, you know because I think that it's valuable to do so. It's going to it's a lot of value in what I'm about to share. But I want you to keep this in mind, right? The life that you change and help, it has to be you first, right? Because before you can share that value with anybody else, you first have to be a living witness for yourself. Your experience is your best teacher in a lot of cases when it comes down to improving upon yourself, right? But the most expensive thing that you're going to do in this economy is you're going to go out to the public commercial market, consumer market, and you're going to buy things guessing, hoping that they work. And that's the most expensive thing that you can do. So I'm here to help you to save not just money, but time, energy, and effort, disappointment, because you work hard for your money. We all do. Whatever it is that you do to get your money, that in itself takes time, energy, and effort. So you want to make sure that you're purchasing the things that are going to actually help you, right? So I am coming to you as a fellow consumer, a educated, smart shopper, and just like yourself, I like perks, right? So not only do I been using these products for, like, I say 6 years. Since August of 2019, I've been using these products every single day, folks. So, I'm not like some type of brand ambassador or somebody like a celebrity or anybody like that, who is just solely just, making this presentation to you for profits alone. But I do like perks, no different than you flying If you're a person that likes to travel, you're gonna try to catch, not only the vacation is valuable to you, but you're gonna also want those frequent flyer miles, right? Well, just look at it as that's what I'm doing. I love these products so much that I like to save on the products, and whether or not if I was, receiving perks or anything like that from the company, which any member can do, I would still tell you about these products. Why? Because that's what we as consumers do. We do reviews. Uh, we do our due diligence to make sure that we let everybody know that we found something that's special, that we enjoy, and that we love. And look at what we got right here. X2O. You're going to continue to see this on my page, people. Why? Because I care about you. Why? Because I care about myself and we all connected. How are we connected? This is what we're connected by right here. It's just something that we all have in common. We need water to live, to function, to stay healthy. And people often ask me, and I'm gonna take my time with these products today, right? Because I got time, right? People often ask me online, offline, well, what kind of water should I drink? What's the best brand? If you've been keeping up with the headlines, people, you've been seeing the microplastics, the nanoplastics. You're already aware the chlorine inside of your water, all of the tons and tons of carcinogens that's in the water. So my answer to that question, when it comes down to what's the best water for you to drink, for us to drink, it in itself has to be filtered water, reverse osmosis water, or distilled water, but you have to add the minerals content back to that water, people. If you do not add the proper trace organic marine minerals back to that water, I don't care what they call it, how fancy the bottle is, right? I don't care about how I'm not saying it taste doesn't matter because I love good tasting water, right? Don't get me wrong here, right? But what I'm saying is that you don't want to focus on branding or how a bottle looks or just how it tastes because they're putting a lot of inorganic chemicals and taste deceptive, to deceive the tongue to make it taste a certain way. But just because water tastes good or it looks good inside of a bottle or because it could just pass a pH test, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the healthiest water that you want to drink or that's the healthiest water to drink, right? And the reason why I'm leaving this here is because I'm gonna put this on my YouTube and on my YouTube channel, right? And I'm gonna keep this up on my page. Well, they only gonna let it last about 30 days, but I will be putting this on my YouTube channel so that way it'll be a permanent archive, right? But I want you to be able to read this for yourself, right? So that way I don't gotta read it for you. But I'm just letting you know, X2O is what I add to my water, to filtered water or reverse osmosis water. If I were to buy bottled water, if it would, let's just say if I did have to buy bottled water in a plastic bottle, I would still want to filter that water. But if I were to buy bottled water, it would be glass bottled water. I wouldn't care about the name of it as long as it's a glass bottle, right? And I would add my X2O sachet. I would drop it in like this, like a tea bag, right? Shake it up, stir it, let it sit for about 5 minutes, and I've just produced, naturally produced, whether you want to call it hydrogen water, microclustered water, reduced water. The point is that I've just infused 70 plus trace organic minerals to my water with no chemical process, no expensive machinery, no fancy ionization bottle or process. It's very simple, it's very effective, and it's very cost effective, right? And I said that I was going to also share the prices with you as well. And instead of me reading it off to you, I already got my back office already open on my account, my Xooma Worldwide account. As you can see, 277290. You're gonna see that number. So if you ever call Xooma Worldwide and you're not a customer, and you haven't tried out the products, just let them know that Timon Brown 277290 referred you. As you can see, this is the name of my website. So this is how I know that this is my account. Okay, so I was just showing you the X2O, right? Now, mind you, you get 30 sachets for one pack, right? To hydrate, mineralize, and revitalize. Now, as a member, as you can see, I get a $10.45 discount. I could just log into my account 24 hours, 7 days a week, and all I gotta do is add it to my cart, check out, and I'm out of there. Retail, you may say, hey, you know what? I don't want to be a member. I don't want to save this $10.45. It will be $39.95. What does that equate to? So with 30 sachets, you get 6 sachets per pouch, 5 pouches, which is 5 times 6 for 30. That's a pack, right? Now, when you break that down, that's 98 cents for one sachet as a member. And that one sachet, right? That one sachet is good for 20, this on average, say 20 to 40 fluid ounces of water, right? Give or take, if you want to be really accurate, say 23 to 46, right? Depending on if you fill that bottle all the way up to the top, but you may drink out of another bottle. But let's just keep it simple, 20 to 40 fluid ounces of water, because this one sachet is good for up to 1 to 2 bottles of water, right? So when you're looking at these prices, right, you're really looking at like anywhere between 2 weeks to 45 days, depending on what product you're dealing with. But for the X2O, let's just say a pack, if you were to use say 2 to 3 a day, you do the math, right? That's less than $3 a day, tops. Less than $3 a day as a member. And if you were shopping retail, that's less than $4, definitely less than $5 a day. So when you equate that or weigh that against what you're going out into the public marketplace and buying what 16 to 50 fluid ounces of water, you're paying at least $3 to $4, or in some cases, let's just say keep it within the margin of $2 to $4 a bottle, depending on what brand you're buying. And that's just for one serving. But what are you getting? You got to ask yourself, are you getting 70 trace organic minerals in that water? Are you getting a pH that's naturally occurring and produced of a 9.9 to a 10 when you go out and you buy that water? Or are you getting microplastics, nanoplastics, and probably like 3 or 4, inorganic, synthetic, chemicals or whatever it is that they're doing to spike the pH artificially? And is it really hydrating your body on the cellular level? These are questions that I would urge you to ask yourself as a consumer. Because these are the questions that I'm asking myself. And I'm going to spend more time on the X2O. Why? Because it's the foundation of our health, cellular hydration, right? You see here, you could trace every sickness, every disease, and every ailment to a mineral deficiency. So regardless of what brand that you go out and you buy, or even if you're still drinking tap water and you're filtering your own tap water, but what is the real health benefit that is actually giving your body? The cells of a healthy body are alkaline, while the cells of a diseased body are acidic. And this is by Dr. Arthur Guyton, the author of the textbook of medical physiology, which is the book that doctors have to actually study to pass their exams to become doctors. But you got to ask yourself, is your doctor or your physician? Because I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to treat, mitigate, litigate, diagnose sickness, right? I'm just a smart shopper, a smart consumer who cares about his health, all right? So if you're like me, I just want you to ask yourself, is your doctor talking to you about cellular hydration and mineralization, right? The quality of water that you're drinking when your body is made up of 80 to 85%, well, some will say 70 to 80% of your body is made up of water. So, this is a very, very key and important, uh, uh, you know, thing for us to start focusing on. Because as you can see, a lot of people are drinking sodas. A lot of people are drinking over acidic beverages, each and every day, and that's what's attributing to a lot of the sickness and disease. Why? Because if we were to talk about water and we were to start asking ourselves real questions about whether or not the water that we're really drinking is hydrating us and providing us with real true health benefits. And okay, it has minerals in it, but how many? Knowing that we're made up of 102 plus minerals physiologically. That's our biology, right? We're made up of trillions of cells, people. So this is basic biology that we're dealing with right here, you know? This isn't something that's above and beyond, our ability to understand, what we're looking at here and what we're talking about, what we're discussing, right? So if your bottled water that you say is your favorite, oh, it tastes good, but what is it providing you with on a cellular level? Is it really hydrating you? If it has a pH of six, or a seven, eight, nine that is promising you on the bottle, how are they achieving it? Are they achieving it naturally or synthetically, right? And how many actual minerals are you getting in that water that you're drinking every time you drink it? When I pop my sachet, my X2O sachet inside of my water, my filtered water or my reverse osmosis water, I know for an absolute fact that I'm getting 70 plus trace organic blue zone derived minerals. Blue zone derived minerals. That's going to microcluster my water. It's going to turn my regular dead water, filtered water, into hydrogen microclustered ionized mineral infused water. So I know for a fact that it's going to get inside of my cells to my mitochondria, right? And my nuclei. It's going to be able to produce the energy that my cells need in order to do what? The work that they have to do specifically in order to make sure that I'm healthy and well and that my body is hydrated properly. So I just wanted to dedicate more time to the X2O, to the cellular hydration and mineralization. I wanted to take you in the back office. If you're already a member, if you don't know how to get here, the only thing you got to do is really just press products, right here, and you'll get all the categories, right? Just to give you that tip there, and then you just scroll down and this is how I shop. I don't it takes me out of the whole, trying to figure out, go out into this, the public to try to figure out, what works, what doesn't work. And when you just know, when you got it, you just got it, and the only thing you got to do is just use it. And that's what I do. So this is the price, 29.50, for a pack, and 30 sachets is good for 30 to 60 bottles of water, right? And like I said, at 98 cents a serving. And that one serving, I can use it once or twice. So I'm getting double the value from, double the bang for my buck. And, a dollar and 30 retail, give or take between a dollar and 30, $1.40 a sachet. That's still way, way, way more affordable than what a lot of people are doing out in the public market. So let's move on. And I won't take as much time with the other products because they're more straight to the point. But I'm finding out and coming to learn throughout the years. I've come to learn that a lot of people, just like myself, before I got this information, we just because we're not taught this in school, you know. So don't feel bad that you don't know. I didn't know 6 years ago, and I've been plant-based for well over a decade plus, 12 years. And I thought that I was good drinking just regular reverse osmosis water. But I'm glad that I was open to this information because it has taken my cellular hydration to a whole new level of effectiveness. Because now I'm being hydrated 6 times more effectively than I was before by me adding these minerals, these X2O minerals to my water. So people often ask me, well, like what products do you use? I'm gonna use this every day. This X2O is just a given. This is another one of my favorite products, and it's not to put, take away value from any of the other products, but I'm a highly active, athletic individual. I love to work out, love calisthenics, and I love to run. And I love that natural energy. And a lot of people are out here doing a lot of harmful energy drinks, but this is a great replacement. Focus up, and it comes in not just the powder sticks, but the capsules as well. So you got the ability to go with, what works for you when it comes to intake. But for focus, mood, concentration, memory, mental performance, and as you can see here, none of the bad stuff, you know, and you get clean energy. And from what I learned, from a lot of the people that have been using these products longer than me in the company, I know firsthand that it does take you from black and white to high definition. Okay. So if you're looking for a great energy boost, without all of the bad stuff, focus up is what you want to do. And like I said, they got it in powder stick and capsules, right? So, and keep it in good form. I'm gonna let you know what the price is so that way because I believe in transparency. Same thing, 29.50 for members, and retail 39.95. And as you can see, you get 12 sticks. If you're the type of person, you could turn those 12 sticks into 24 servings, if you split it in half or what have you. But that's what the cost is, the price, and that's what you get, right? So moving right along, okay, nowadays I see a lot of people going through a lot of extremes to try to lose weight, and not just lose the weight, but to keep the weight off of you, right? And this is all around the globe, all around the nation, from one extreme to the next. But what if you just came to know, like right now, about a product system, a weight management system called Metabolize? Look, got the AM. Now, what this does, this helps you to burn fat in the daytime. When you're just moving about, you've got something that's working for you. And not only does it do that, let me give you a little game right here. Let me give you a little information right here. See what it says right here? Formulated to also support healthy blood glucose levels and insulin sensitivity, healthy thyroid function. And they just upgraded this, folks, while also reducing carbohydrate cravings that a lot of you know is your weakness and promoting feelings of fullness. So just think about if you got this in your system, you pop this in the morning time, real simple to the point, this AM metabolized AM formula, and now you got something working for you, you know. And then in the evening after you've had a long day, and you pop the PM, right? And look at what it says right here. Will help maintain an optimal metabolic rate, help reduce excessive stress hormones, which you know to be cortisol, right? Help support a healthy sleep cycle. A lot of y'all got insomnia. This would be great for you. You're not having you're not getting a proper night's rest, which is causing you to hold on to those extra fat cells that you don't really want because fat cells can't burn at nighttime while you're resting if you're not resting, right? So that's going to help you with that. Renew and reactivate muscle cells to optimize metabolic function. So all you gotta do, is if you want to revisit this, you can rewind this, or you can check out the catalog for yourself. I'm just pointing this stuff out to you that these products out to you that can help you to help yourself without you having to do too much. Nature's body cleanse. You got a lot of toxins in your body that you're not getting rid of. Toxin accumulation caused by slow bowel transit time can lead to a reduction in overall health and well-being. Well, guess what? Nature's body cleanse is going to increase the consumption of your dietary fiber. It's going to help you to decrease bowel transit time, right? You're going to get those BMs, moving, those bowels moving that you haven't been moving, and gently cleanse your intestinal tract. So this is just another aspect now, depending on what package you get, is going to determine whether or not if you get this nature body cleanse and included. But I always recommend, get the total package. Why cut corners? And then, if you're someone, you do weigh, I have not gotten a bad report about how this tastes because I know how important taste is to people. So you get the vanilla and you get the chocolate, right? So this is, you already know what a protein shake is, but like I said, this is minus all of the bad stuff, So this is low calorie, low carb, contains no added sugar, and includes a blend of functional fiber to help you to control hunger, support healthy digestion, and get fit. You see, get fit, folks, because you got the power and the ability to do that. Now, look here. Plus, none of those artificial sweeteners, flavors, colors, or preservatives typically found in most of the other protein products, which is why a lot of that stuff out there doesn't really work, folks, right? So I'm just pointing out the value to you, okay? And I'm gonna take you back here once again. And like I said, if you're a member and you want to find that in your back office, you come right here. It's real self-explanatory up underneath the weight loss and management section. Oh wow, they kicked me out. All right. But what I'm gonna do, just to keep in good spirit, because I'm not gonna give you all my password and all that stuff up here on the live. I got my sheet right here just in case, because a good warrior is gonna always be prepared. And I'm gonna give you the Metabowise protein shake. Retail is $44, but as a member, we get it for $34.95. Okay, members, you get, so that's the value in being a member. So what is that? That's like another $10 in savings. So $44 retail, 34.95. And mind you, folks, when you think about these prices, this is usually for like 2 weeks to 45-day supply. So you're just looking at like half a month to a month and a half supply. So you break it down in daily servings, there's your value. You should see the value. So moving right along, we got the miracle from the sea. Now a lot of people were talking about chronic inflammation, asthma, arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, IBS, right? Obesity, you know, chronic inflammation is attached to all of that stuff, right? But Cardiozyme is exclusive formula, contains a potent and unique blend of plant-based and seed-based, highly bioactive polyphenols that optimize cellular, cardiovascular, and metabolic health to support lifelong physical wellness. Now, I'm glad that I don't, but if I had any of this stuff, high cholesterol, if I had blood pressure issues, if I had say if I personally had MS, knowing what I know about this product, I would be on this product. I would be doubling up on my dosage of this product every day. And it reduces inflammation. You see what chronic inflammation causes, right? Protects against oxidative stress related incident, issues with your health, sickness and disease. I'm really excited about all of these products, but I have seen Cardiozyme do some very, very phenomenal things for a lot of phenomenal people who were looking for some phenomenal results, and they got it. And all you would have to do, if you ever needed to, you just you could check the testimonial section here. If you want to just really read about what other people are saying about these products, you can always come to the testimonial section, which is pretty much right down here, right? If you really want to just check out some real stories, that people have shared. But like I said, if I had high blood pressure, I would definitely be on Cardiozyme each and every last single day. So you've been hearing a lot about, microplastics, nanoplastics or anything like that. Probiotics is one of the natural ways that you can bind those plastics that are getting inside of your body. But not just for that, just to support a strong immunological system or immune support health, you want to have a strong gut. So we got 12 strain, probiotic. There's a 12 strain probiotic, 30 billion CFUs. And I know that you see a lot of probiotics that have way more than that, but that doesn't mean that they're promoting quality, But if you want to, take a look at the difference between ours and others, all you gotta do is just let me know. I got the chart. Just drop a comment, and I'll be more than willing to share that with you. But hey, this is something that I would take at night when I do take it, because I tend to rotate my products seasonally. But we headed for fall, winter. We're in fall. We're headed for winter, so I'm definitely going to be getting this back into my nightly regimen. When I use probiotics, I use it at night because the body does most of its healing at night, and that's what's been recommended, by the VP of sales when it comes down. We know that's in Zuma, the actual company. So I take the advice of those that actually been doing this for much longer than I have. So I tend to take probiotics at nighttime when I do take it. But they upgraded this from 8 to 12 strains. Now, mind you, if you don't know the importance of probiotics, our gut health needs healthy gut flora in order for us to not only just to digest and to support healthy digestion and things like that, but to also to strengthen our immune system. This is like sending your internal armed forces extra resources, extra weaponry, and extra troops. This is the simplest way that I could break it down to you. So if that's something that interests you and you're not sure whether or not if you're getting those types of daily, healthy gut resources, you definitely want to check out our probiotics. And retail, it's $55, but as a member, I get it for $39.99. So it just pays, to be a Zuma Worldwide member, right? But when you break it down, can you really put a price on your health? I say no, right? But if you can save while doing so, my question to you is why not? One more thing before I leave the probiotics that I want to point out is just how necessary it is for you to have a strong immune system. But how do you promote that? Every food that we eat, everything that we drink, in case you don't know what strains are, right? All you got to do is just pretty much look it up, right? But I'm here to help you. Everything that we eat, let's just say you eat meat, chicken, beef, pork. lamb, whatever it is. You may eat frog legs, but you may say you eat a lot of fast food, whatever it is that you're eating, whether it's a meat, nuts, fruits, different types of sugars, drinks, everything that you put in your body that's naturally conducive with your body. And we know that fast food typically is not conducive with our with our natural biology, but I know a lot of people still eat it. So just had to throw that in there. But you need a different strain or a different enzyme, right? Or a different type of bacteria, healthy bacteria, to digest those different types of foods. And if your gut health is missing any of these strains in your gut, the main strains or the main bacteria, healthy bacterias, then guess what's going to be disrupted? Your digestion. And you see what it says right here? There are approximately 40 diseases that have been linked to bacterial imbalance in the body, according to the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases. So, what that speaks to, right, is that if you improve upon the quality and the amount of probiotics that your gut's getting on your body's getting on a daily basis, isn't it safe to say, folks, that you could more than likely, improve upon these issues as well? Just something to think about, right? So, let's move right on. Cellular health. Now, this right here, natural selection. I do constant rotations. I say like, I do cycles. I'll say cycles. But this is for cellular health, cellular rejuvenation, right? As you can see, the product speaks for itself. It's a uniquely formulated wellness compound that contains vitamin, herbal, and mineral ingredients to support energetic cellular rejuvenation, right? You got a lot of damaged cells. You have mutated cells. You have cells that are not doing what they're supposed to do. You see? Look right here. This exclusive formula contains formula antioxidants, which have been shown in research to help to neutralize harmful free radicals that damage our cells and lead to premature aging. So even if you already know free radicals are connected to cellular mutations, cancer. But even if you're somebody you want to age backwards, you want to slow down that aging process. You want to give your cells a real deep down cleansing, you know, and not just clean them out, but to rejuvenate them, to refurbish them. This is what you want to get, and it's a liquid, right? Now, I think that natural selection is $150 for retail, but I get it for $74.99. Now, mind you, every 3 months that I shop with Zuma and spend $100 a month, which I've been doing for well over 5 years, close to 6 years, if not 6 years or better, right? I get a BOGO, right? So what better product to use my buy one get one free, right? That's $150 of value that I could get for just $79. Well, really, $300 if I were retail. So that's $300 in retail value that I could get for $74.99, right? But as a member, of course, it would be $150 for $74.99. But the retail value is $300. 150 times two, $300, right? But I could use my BOGO to get two of these for just the price of a one, $74.99. So I just want to point that out to you, right? And I'm using my inventory sheet right here because I got kicked out of my back office, which is a security measure, right? Because if you got that tab open too long, it's gonna kick you out. So save 20 to 50% off retail prices. Become a member today. And just so you may see the value in doing so. You see my credentials, my website, and the customer service number is in the comments. And if you're already a member, all you got to do is use your login information in case you yourself did not know that these products existed on the inventory, that you have direct access to these products just like I do. Because a lot of times people think that all that Zuma has to offer is just water and minerals, right? Minerals for your water. Revital Mind. Now, I've been reading a lot of articles about Alzheimer's, dementia, brain fog. This is what you want to get, folks. Look, 60 capsules. Revital Mind is an extraordinary brain support formula that optimizes focus, concentration, memory, and mental performance. Now, this is a more advanced formula opposed to or in comparison because it's not a competition with the product because they both work in concert. But I told you about Focus Up. The only, well, I won't say the only difference, but a difference is Revital Mind is more for long-term support and that this is not gonna like energize you like Focus Up will, right? But using them together, I mean, hey, that's just double the value, which is what I highly recommend, especially if you're getting up in age, right? Which we all are, but I think that you know what I mean. But research has shown direct benefits from the key nutrients. You see right here, give you some value, you know, that actually speaks to your higher mind. With Revital Mind, you can feed your mind the nutrients it craves long term. These nutrients can be both preventative and restorative for optimal brain function. They also fight against age related mental decline. So, if that resonates with you, you definitely want to get with that Revital Mind. Let me give you the pricing on that retail. And retail, you'll do $65 as a non-member, a non-Zuma member, but as a member, you'll save $15 and you'll get Revital Mind for $50. So that's a $15 worth of savings, folks. All right? Okay. So age is the greatest risk factor for cognitive impairment. An estimated 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's, the most well-known form of cognitive impairment per the US Alzheimer's Association. So just think about it. Let's just say you a member, you have people who may be in your family who may be on a mental decline, and it's solely in most cases due to the fact that their brain is not actually getting the actual nutrients, the specific nutrients that their brains need every day. So you think about the holidays that are coming up. Wouldn't this be a great gift, for your aunt, your uncle, your grandmother, your grandfather, or yourself? You treat yourself if this is something that you're going through, right? They could be a friend, you know. But I just wanted to point this out. Revital Mind, you know, it's available. Silver Max. Now this is another one of my daily staples. I do not go a day without spraying my nostrils, my nasal cavities, uh, oral hygiene. I use this for so many reasons, so many different purposes, right? Silver Max, aka Silver Hydrosol. Look, across the globe, I'm gonna give you this value. Across the globe for thousands of years, silver has played an essential role in safeguarding human health. Okay? Today, more people embrace natural ways to maintain their health. And this is where I'm at, just so you'll know. Oh, they're not giving me no straightening right here. I can highlight this. But this is where I'm at. Today, as more people embrace natural ways to maintain their health and well-being, silver has experienced a resurgence. But let me give you some value. Reduces topical pain. That's the gel, right? And it also kills harmful bacteria, fungi and viruses. Gives you like up to 5 hours of protection topically, right? So get rid of, it's a great replacement for those toxic uh, hand sanitizers and stuff like that. Reduces topical pain. Great for wounds, scratches, scars. You got children. Helps to heal faster. Calms minor skin inflammation. I've seen this do amazing things for people per their testimonies who have had like eczema and different types of skin conditions and things like that. Skin flare-ups, acne, things like that. Fights minor skin infections, promotes healing of the skin. Anybody that may have like staph or other, anything, funguses and things like that, on the skin that they might have come in contact with, poison ivy, poison oak. You definitely want to have this in your kit, right? But Silvermax, like I said, it's great for the immune system. This is a part of our immune support pack, along with the probiotics, the prebiotic that I haven't, covered yet, and the X2O. Like I said, this is a daily staple of mine. I don't go a day without it. You talk about colds, where that's at, no power. Colds, flu, flu season is coming up. This is a very, very effective way. I really honestly think that I'm not saying that all the other products, should be in every household, and not just in America, all across the world, but Silver Max is definitely something that if a lot of people would have had this, I'll just say during those lockdowns, right? Uh, Me personally, as a customer and a consumer and a person that have used this for years, and the results that I've gotten, hey, let's just say I think that a whole lot more lives could have been saved. That's just my personal opinion, which in no way reflects that of the companies, right? But moving right along. So if you have any questions about Silvermax, I got a lot. I got a PDF. I have a audio. Like about 20, 30 minute audio. Any product that you see that I'm covering that you want more information, about, I do have case specific and more in depth, educational tools that I can share with you. You just let me know. And here we go. We got Insta Protex. Now, if you know somebody or you're somebody that has like a cleaning business, or you want to try to get away from like those harmful, toxic chemical cleaning agents, you know, uh, that create harmful fumes and invisible vapors inside of your household. 14 days, people. 14. Look, long last up to 14 days after application, right? Let me give you this game right here because a lot of people don't know about Instaprotex. It comes in capsule form, right? You get an empty bottle, one or two, depending on what package you get, right? Or however which way you choose to buy it, and you simply add that capsule, right? That's eco-friendly, you know, warm water, shake it up. It's gonna turn pink, right? And then once it, turns back clear, it's ready to apply. You spray and you let it dry. And look at this, fast acting sanitizers within 1 minute application. Let me give you this value. Safe enough to be used as a hand sanitizer. I mean, you can put it on your skin. Why? Because it's eco-friendly, non-toxic, non-chemical, non-abrasive, right? And it's conventional size. They did capsules, so that way it's not expensive to ship to you, right? Multi-purpose, hard or soft surfaces, right? That means you can use it on furniture, you can use it in your office, you can use it on clothing, you can spray this on your sneakers or your shoes when you come, you be putting your shoes and your sneakers by the door, but you still got germs in your house. What if you sprayed the soles of your, every time you came back home and you sprayed this Instaprotex, on your shoes and your boots or what have you. 99% effective against pathogens, right? And all if you really were to go on the if you were to go here, go to Instaprotex page, and you scroll all the way, let me just show you how to navigate this thing, right? Look at this. All of these are just total transparency, microbial reduction on your hands, microbial reduction on surfaces, coronavirus residual virucidal efficacy. All of the lab testing, right? So this is not a matter of belief or opinion. These are the receipts. Coronavirus reduction efficacy. Look, they had to get two categories for that, right? So I'm just showing you, look, where to go on the website. If you're the type like a stickler for details, just to let you see that this is not just all talk or hype, folks. They got the receipts to go with it. 100% natural, non-toxic, eco materials. So once again, you get 10 refillable capsules, and like I said, 14 days of protection on soft or hard surfaces, non-toxic, non-abrasive, all natural, eco-friendly. You definitely want eco. You want to look at it. Get Instaprotex in your house, your office, your job. You work in a hospital, wherever. You're concerned that you're germophobic. Like a germaphobe. Why don't you have Instaprotex and you're a Xooma Worldwide member? And if you just now coming to know about Xooma Worldwide, I'm letting you know that you do have healthier cleaning agent options, folks. School just got back in session, probably like about a month or so, or 2 months for some people. What are your children drinking? When it comes to juices every day. You remember a couple of years ago, the Capri Sun, they had that major recall? What if you knew about Zuma Blast? And they just got the new uh, limonade, right? This is the latest flavor right here, right? So children love it. I love it. Uh, this is a great debate as to which one do you love the most. Hey, I'll leave that up to you. But hey, I've tasted them all. I love them all. But I'm gonna let you know my personal opinion. I'm really, really digging this Grape Escape. But the beautiful thing, I've mixed them, and hey, when you mix all three, guess what? You produce something really, really magical. And I'm just gonna give you that game right there. You're gonna create something really, really magical. And what if you mix the strawberry dragon fruit lemonade with the limonade, or what if you mix the grape escape with the limonade, or what if you mix the grape escape with the so what am I saying? There are so many different flavors that you could create, different tastes that you could create, and to enhance your Zuma Blast experience. Totally delicious. But outside of taste, right? What does it have to offer you? And I think they get it right, get down to the business right here. No artificial sweeteners, flavors, colors, or preservatives. It's a phytonutrient blend, 1.5 servings of whole food derived fruits and vegetables. They just upgraded Zuma Blast, right? With the mushroom superfood blend. So every time you and your children and your family drink Zuma Blast, guess what you're gonna get? Lion's mane, shiitake, reishi, and maitake. Superfood mushrooms. Now tell me that your juice that you going out and buying them stores that you getting this type of value. You know you're not getting this type of value, right? But before I move on, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you about what Silvermax costs. Just keeping in good spirit. You got to bear with me because I just be flowing. I'm non-scripted. So the Silvermax, in case you were questioning, well, here and give me the price on that. Is an 8-ounce fluid ounce bottle, right? Silvermax is as an individual product, retail 44.95, but as a member we get it for 34.99. Okay. Now the gel retail 32.50. $25 for members. But you can get this in a package if you're a first time shopper, right? And if you're interested in that, all you got to do is just go on the website, right? Go to products, right? And my website is in the comments, or you could go log in if you are already a member. And like I said, click products, right? But if you are a first time shopper and you're interested in Silvermax, you come right here. And then what you do, you click right here and it will take you directly to the page. And that goes for all the other premier product packages, product premier products, except for three of them, I believe. Zuma Blast, probiotics, and natural selection are the only three premier products that don't have an actual individual page for themselves. So I'm just, giving you some tips as I go along, but I want to make sure, that I give you these prices as well, being that I had gotten kicked out of my back office. But like I said, I stay prepared so I don't have to get prepared. Insta Protex, the defense kit. You get 2 spray bottles and 12 capsules. Retail $44, right? And as a member, we get it for $33.99. Great savings. So in case you just wanted the 10 capsule refill bottle, $33 retail, $24.99. And this is the refill bottle right here, right? So that's the price tag on that. As for Zuma Blast, right? Let me give you the price tag on that. Uh, in the inventory sheet that I'm looking at, it's not an upgrade, so it doesn't have the laminate, but all of the flavors pretty much retail $36.95, and members we get it for $28.95, and that's like $1 some change cheaper than the actual X2O. So it's very affordable, and like I said, you want to look at these product prices as individual servings for up to 2 weeks to 45 days, or 2 weeks to a month and a half. And when you break it down into servings per servings, you can't beat the value for that price, folks. Another one of my must-haves right here. Life Source. And it's a source of life, right? Whole food based formula, special chosen vitamin mineral sources to ensure maximum bioavailability, meaning that your body is going to absorb all of these nutrients. It's 4 capsules per serving. So what I do personally, each and every last single day, I had my half a service already. I do 2 caps in the morning, 2 caps in the evening, because I want that nutrients to carry me through the day. And I'm gonna do the other half of that service. So when I lay down and my body is healing and restoring and rejuvenating, I'm gonna make sure that I got that life source in my body, so that my body will have the necessary resources in order to do what it needs to do, right? They just upgraded this tool recently, probably within the last year or so. Contains an exclusive organic fruits, veggies, and greens blend, right? Clinically researched polyphenol concentrates blend that provides same antioxidant protection as 2 servings of fresh fruit and vegetables. That's the oxenia, just in case you know what that is, right? That's what it does. So, hey, maximum value, you know. So if you got children, people in your family, they don't want to eat their vegetables, they don't want to eat enough fruits, or it might be you, you're always on the go. What if you had Life Source working for you? 120 capsules. So that's the 4 capsules per serving a day, 38 servings, right? So you break it down. Let me give you the price on that. I got time today, folks, right? I trust that everybody's doing well, you know what I'm saying? We're inside of your current reality, and that is continuing to get better. Where's Life Source? 59.95 retail, 47.50 as a member. So as you can see, it pays to be a member. How? On the front end and on the back end. And the fact that these products are phenomenal, you're getting everything. You're getting so much bang for your buck, folks. 20 to 50% off the retail prices. Become a member today. Increase ingredient sources matter. So I'm gonna give you this value. Now I'm plant based, right? So people are like, well, where do you get your, how are some of the ways that you get your vitamin B12? This is one of the ways that I get my vitamin B12. Just one of the ways, right? So we use a methylcobalamin, which is a natural form of vitamin B12 and is more bioavailable than the derivative or its counterpart, a synthetic form of uh, vitamin B12, right? So what we're getting is the natural form, which is better than the synthetic form, which is what makes it more bioavailable. You get that? And you can always, like I said, rewind this, check it out. But vitamin B12 rich, right? So if you plant based and you're not, how are you getting your vitamin B12? This is another way. Let me show you another way how I get my vitamin B12, folks. Remember this guy right here? Remember the guy and gal, the powder stick in the capsule? Focus Up is so rich in natural derived vitamin B12. Just giving you some if you plant based like me, I'm just letting you know, right? So magnesium. Now you got different types of magnesium, but the bisglycinate is used for its superior absorption, right? So I just wanted to point that out because those of you that know about magnesium, right, whom I've had several discussions, hey, we got the top shelf inside of our life source, right? So, hey, we got a powerful chromium source of chromium. And listen, this is just everything from A to Z. So before I do any of the other store bought brands, I'm gonna keep rocking with this life source. You know, I've already given you the price. And I'm gonna give you this value right here, give you some more value. Forget about those mass marketed multivitamins, because this pretty much sums up what I was about to say. At your local stores that attempts to look like a bargain. Instead, use Life Source and experience. Don't just be interested, but experience the difference a true high quality supplement can deliver to your body. This is the truth. The truth, folks. I don't go a day without it. So if you want to know, like, oh, well, what do you do? This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. Okay, I got time today. Assimilator and berry balance. Now, mind you, I'm not diabetic. I trust and hope that I never do become, because I'm doing what I gotta do, right? But there's a lot of people that are diabetic. If I were a diabetic, this would still definitely still be a part of my regimen, right? Which I think actually is a part of the essential pack, right? Now I don't know if this is, yeah, this is a part of the essential pack. If you're a member, you look in the blood sugar part of the product section, you'll see what I'm talking about. All you gotta do is scroll down. But let's get back to this assimilator. I gave you the price on the life source, right? Assimilator. A lot of people have bad digestion or digestive issues because you don't have enough digestive enzymes. See what that says? Digestion and enzyme support. And a lot of people who have diabetes, whether you type 1 or type 2, folks, you don't have good digestion. So if you don't know, now you know, assimilator exists. Berry balance. You see what that says? Blood sugar support. Blood sugar support, folks. So when you don't got to be knocking your head, bumping your head up against the wall, trying to figure out what to do. Now that you've met me, now that if you know me and you've met me, or you coming to meet me, or you meet me in the future, and you watching this, I'm telling you, you're in the right place, right? Not because I say so, right? But you got to experience it for yourself. But you got to take that step. Assimilator is a potent combination of natural plant enzymes in a proprietary formulation with essential trace minerals. See what I'm saying? That's the assimilator. Most of our modern day food supply is devoid. This is the reason why why we need, because even though I don't got blood sugar, I still use assimilator. Why? Because a part of naturopathic practices is prevention. That's what holistic health is all about. It's not about getting sick or breaking down in your health and then trying to fix it. No, I practice prevention. So what? I still use assimilator. So I'm not saying that you have to have diabetes in order to use these products, because I use these products in cycles because I don't want to to develop blood sugar and all of these other issues out here. But if you already are suffering from that, this is a really good reason, folks, as to why you may want to try this out. Most of our modern day food supply is devoid of the natural enzymes necessary for optimal digestion. You see, this powerful supplement helps break down the foods you eat and unlock the nutrients to make them more readily available to your body. If that's not reason enough in order to have a assimilator in your house, in your kitchen, in your cabinet or cupboard, then I don't know what else is. Look, assimilator includes specialized enzyme blends for digesting protein. This is what I was talking to you about before, when I was going over the probiotics. Protein, carbohydrates, fat, and fiber. So you need specialized enzymes. So this works in concert with the probiotics and the prebiotics, but this is just for your digestion. You see, a lot of y'all are constipated. This formula can also help relieve occasional gas, bloating, and gastrointestinal discomfort while supporting healthy weight loss. Look at that. So, like I said, just look at me as a person that's directed traffic, and I'm just pointing these things out to you because I trust that your higher senses and the love that you have for yourself, right? That's what's going to speak to you. But you can't really experience value just looking at the value. You got to bring these healthy properties into your life, and you've got to at least give it 30. I always tell people give it 90 days, right? 30 to 90 days, 30 bed minimum, 90 days for you to really, really feel the real difference in your health, in your body, in your energy, in your overall health and well-being. Berry balance, right? I'm gonna give you this. When it comes to blood sugar support, this is a one of a kind formula, and it can deliver significant results. Why is that? It's rich in antioxidants. Let me give you this value. Berry balance is a powerful and unique multi-berry extract with several patented and trademarked ingredient complexes. In vivo, in vitro studies have shown that berries rich in anthocyanins, right, possess many biological functions that deliver potent health benefits such as antioxidant activity. This is where we're going to get to the goal right here. Antioxidant activity, cardiovascular protection, enhanced brain function and mental clarity, anti-aging properties, urinary tract health. A lot of people be getting UTIs, right? Urinary tract health, healthy vision, and skin care. So, hey, I'm just pointing out the value, right? For those of you who do fish oils, you looking for a healthy source of essential fatty acids, omega 375. And what separates this from all of that other stuff out there, this has squalene in it. Now, I'm plant-based, but if I were not plant-based and I did fish and seafood, I would definitely have this in my repertoire. But hey, I know that everybody doesn't live like me, right? So I'm still going to tell you about what you're doing and how to do it better. Okay? So let me give you this value. A very rare and unique ingredient because this is what separates omega 375 from what you may be doing right now, thinking that you're getting the best quality. A very rare and unique ingredient, our shark liver oil, is the highest grade available with squalene, right? To help maintain the health and body's natural immune and defense system. And what they taught us and what we learned, what I came to know, you never ever see a shark with cancer. You never ever see a shark. And guess what? A shark always swims and it don't hardly ever, I don't think a shark ever sleeps, right? So you get in the oil. This is top notch EFAs in a fish oil if you do fish and seafood, right? And this is thanks to the patented purification process and third party testing, right? Omega 375s gives you the kind of quality, excuse me, and purity that is hard to find in most fish oil supplements today, which is what I was just explaining to you. So it's self-explanatory, folks. If you're looking for quality fish oil, quality EFAs, and you do fish and seafood, why don't you have omega 375 in your house, in your possession? Especially if you are already a Xooma Worldwide member. Arthritis? Huh? No, wait a minute. Not when there's tendons, ligaments, cartilage, muscles, connective tissues, and bones, and aid in post-injury joint repair. I've been seeing a lot of people. Oh, I got my back hurts, or I've had an injury, or they want to do, uh, you know, some kind of surgery on me. Well, let me take you back up here, because it would be remiss of me not to point that out, right? We have individual in our health network, right? That this right here, cardiozyme, that would be the powerful combo. Cardiozyme and what we're talking about right now, joint health. Stop them from having to get a double knee replacement. The cardiozyme, that is. Now, if you're somebody I'm not telling you what to do because, like I said, I'm not a doctor, but if it were me and they were talking about cutting on me and I found out about this and I knew what I know now, I'm going to go with this first, joint health and cardiozyme. And I'm going to give my body an opportunity to get what it really needs to get rid of this chronic inflammation, right? And to repair my joints and my ligaments and my tendons, to rejuvenate my tendons and my ligaments naturally, my cartilage, my connective tissues and bones and stuff like that. I'm gonna go with nature first before I go letting them cut on me. Now that's my personal opinion, right? But the choice is yours, your life, your choice, right? But there are people that are getting results. Ellagic acid, red raspberry seed flour concentrate, right? Now, like I said, I'm no oncologist, I'm no doctor. I don't diagnose or treat or mitigate any illness or disease, right? But I sure have met quite a few people who have been using this ellagic acid and who have used this ellagic acid, and it would be remiss of me not to point this value out, the power combo and natural selection. Remember the cellular rejuvenation? I've met quite a few people who were diagnosed with the big C, right? Who included this ellagic acid, 5 caps a day, right? 150 capsules, 5 caps a day. But if it were me, I would do 10 to 15 caps a day if I was fighting for my life, right? But this ellagic acid and that natural selection, when it comes to like cellular mutations, cellular deformities, you know, things like that, this would be a part of my daily routine if I was fighting for my life. And because I'm not fighting for my life, and because I don't want to have to fight for my life against the capital C or any kind of cellular mutation, I do at least 1 or 2 cycles of this a year just for prevention. Just for prevention. Because 5 caps is the maintenance and prevention dosage or serving. I'll say serving, right? But let's look into this. Let's get to this value because this right here is so life saving, right? And I've got, like I said, I have further material, educational material for educational purposes that go way more in depth about each and every last one of these products. If you ever, like I said, if you want to focus in and zoom in on one, just let me know and I'll share that value with you. But I got to give you this. Ellagic acid nutrients differ from those derived from other sources such as pomegranate and walnuts. They are potent natural extracts derived from a unique variety of red raspberry seeds. Extract is the key word, folks, okay? And have been shown to promote apoptosis. What is apoptosis? The turn off process leading to natural cell death. But what happens, folks, when your cells don't die, when they don't naturally go through their natural lifespan and reproduce themselves? That's what they call cancer. That's what they call the big C, right? I'm just pointing that out. But I'm gonna read this again. This is not what I said. This is what this says, right? They are potent natural extracts derived from a natural variety of red raspberry seeds and have been shown to promote apoptosis. You can do your further research on that and read up on apoptosis, folks. The turn off process leading to natural cell death, not chemical, right? Not radiation, not collateral damaging your healthy cells to try to get at the cells that are trying to take you out the game, right? In cancer cells with no harmful effects to normal cells. Why is it this in your life, folks? Why is it this in your life? Why isn't this in your life? Ellagic acid can promote healthy cell function with regular use. 5 capsules a day provides 40 milligrams of ellagic acid extract equal to the amounts successfully used in the studies at Hollings Cancer Institute, Medical University of South Carolina. So it's not what I said, right? This is what Hollings Cancer Institute, a Medical University of South Carolina says. And guess what? Xooma Worldwide has the exclusive formula that has helped so many people throughout the years. Even before I even knew the Xooma Worldwide even existed. Another powerhouse, right? Why aren't you saving 20 to 50% off of the retail prices on these amazing products? With let me point this 100% money back guarantee. So what's the risk? 100% money back guarantee. You got 30 days to try out these amazing products at no risk to you because the company is paying everything forward. So joint health, just because I want to make sure that I stay in good grace, right? Joint health retail, 64.95. Members, we get it for $51.50. And like I said, it's a month supply. This is not just for one serving. It means each and every last single day you can have this, per serving. You break that down, you do the math. So what? For $1.50 to what, $2 a serving, and change a day to make sure that we stay well. Let's pay it forward, folks. It's things that we could do out here. We don't got to be out here, victims of circumstance. Or I see a lot of videos of, what's going on with the food supply, what's going on with the soil, what's going on with the air, what's going on with the water, what's going on with this, what's going on with that. We don't have to be victims here. You know, this is why I'm doing this. We got choices. We have healthy, effective choices. But it's just up to us to attach our resources to what really works. All right. So now a lot of people see this product. I don't know if you are a Zoom Worldwide member and you don't know that this exists. I've used this product because this is not just for women. This is for men and women. I'm going to say it again. This is for men and women. Why? Because just like women can have hormonal imbalances, men, guys, we can have hormonal imbalances as well. I've met guys who have had breast cancer. I have met guys who had, because of things that they were eating and things that they were consuming, their estrogen levels got out of whack and they were unaware of it. So hormonal imbalance is a real thing in both men and women. So guys, you're getting up in age, you want to regulate, and make sure that your testosterone, right? Your masculinity hormone is percolating like how it's supposed to, so you can keep up with the ladies. Ladies, you don't want your estrogen to go too low because then that means that your testosterone is going to be too high, and now he can't keep up with you, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's what this is. A topical cream, Life's Harmony. Like I said, I have about an 8-page PDF We have one of our certified like holistic board members. You know, I think her name is Dr. Henrietta. She does an amazing job of producing materials, educational materials. So if you want to look further into this, if you're somebody who's very studious, you're very studious, and you're trying to, get more information on this, I could provide that. But if this is enough for you, just let me know. Let me give you the price tag on this. Life's Harmony. Life's Harmony, you get a 1.7 ounce bottle, retail $38.95. As a member, you get 29.95. Members, you get 29.95. Really great. So it's topical cream. You rub it on your skin and let nature do what it do. Right? Yeah. So see, women often report positive results within 30 days. So that's why I say, folks, 30 to 90 days, you want to give your body just as much of an opportunity to do what it needs to do for you as you give the things opportunity that are not doing some, good things for you. And we almost do this. If you still hanging in there with me, if you've been riding with me, I can't see my Facebook comments or anything like that. I'm not ignoring you. I'm gonna put this on my YouTube as well. But now, hey, like I said, I appreciate you tuning in, whether now or later, and getting this value. I'm doing this more for you. I already know this stuff, but for those of you who don't know and want to know, that's why I'm doing this. Repair and restore your gut. Now, this is the prebiotic, and I'm going to be getting this month. I'm going to be getting back on this. I like to do this. Well, I do it throughout the year, but especially it getting colder. Uh, I really focus more on my immune system, even more so, because everything that I do is immune support, immunological based anyway. But this has so much in it. This is a Zion 365. That's how you pronounce it. And I'm gonna let it speak for itself. It's a prebiotic and probiotic made with all organic ingredients. Right? Contains three branded and clinically researched super nutrients. SNZ 1969 is one of them. What's another one right off the top of my head? It's the yeah, that's like the chief. They said that that's like the chief of probiotics. And the baobab, yeah, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but the baobab tree got that in there. And that's just off the top of my head. But let me see what they got going on right here. No artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. 25 superfruits. How could I forget that? Okay, so you just it's gonna speak for itself though. I get excited when I see this product. It tastes so good to me. I actually went to the company a couple of years ago when they first released it, up there in Hampton, Virginia. Got the first taste test, and I just knew that it was going to be amazing. We had to wait on it for a little while, but I'm telling you, folks, it was well worth it. I do this in the mornings. I like to mix mine with Focus Up. Because that's like the gut brain connection. It just makes good sense to me. But by itself, it's fabulous. But when I mix it with this right here, I'm talking about it's magical, And then, like I said, the value. But let's get into the value. Like I said, I'm excited. Yeah, let me get this value because this is more about you than it is me. No added sugars, just 20 calories per serving, so you're getting great taste. Why would I do kombucha when I got this? When kombucha is loaded with sugar, why would I do that, right? So let me get this value because they did a much better job of telling you about it than I ever could, right? Over the past decade, considerable evidence from both animal and human studies has shown a clear link between the imbalance of the gut microbiome and the chronic diseases, including inflammatory autoimmune disorders, gut inflammation related disorders, and cardiometabolic diseases. Does any of that sound familiar to you? If it does, Zion 365 is where you want to be. And if you don't want it to become your reality, like me, Zion 365 is the place where you want to be. It's the thing you want to have. Sadly, our modern day food supply contains far too many artificial and chemically altered ingredients that can damage the healthy balance required in our gut for optimal health. Hormone and antibiotic treated meats, genetically modified organisms, the infamous GMOs, right? You want to stay away from that as much as you can. Pesticides and plant altering chemicals like glyphosate. If you don't know what glyphosate is, you want to look it up, right? In modern farming are all contributing to major disruptions in our microbiome. microbiome and creating chaos in our gut. Now, mind you, folks, there are other people, third parties that have done very extensive research and studies and reports on the havoc that glyphosate is wreaking on our, on the population, you know, and all of the sicknesses and diseases that have spiked over the last, what, 20, 30 years, 30, 40 years because of it. So how are you protecting your gut lining, right? Let's get into this. Let's show you, what Zyme 365 can do for you, right? Uh, it protects your gut lining. I mean, I don't think that there's any easier way, to tell you what it does. The acromantia, mucinophilia. I think that you'll see that. I think they do go into a little bit more in depth over there, on the actual website. Um, but oh, that's what I meant to tell you. I think it's I don't know if it's 50. I don't want to misquote, but this month and this month alone, up until October the 30th, you get $10 off as a member. Or if you call in and become a member, I'm sure that they'll still give you the deal. But just to put that out there in case you don't know. Oh, and while I'm looking into this, we got a group called Zuma Insiders. I've sent a lot of people. There we go. I sent a lot of people invites. Some probably have seen them, haven't seen them. But if you want to plug into our Facebook group, it's called Zuma Insiders. If you don't know, if you have a hard time finding it, or you want me to drop the link or send you an invite, just let me know, and I'll help you with that. But it's the place to be if you want to, just really get a feel for the Zuma Worldwide culture. Uh, you know, uh, and the team. Those the support there in Hampton, Virginia. They do an amazing job, to keep us informed of all of the monthly deals, promotions, and most of all, they do an amazing job of educating us. So I kept this up on the screen. The acromantia mucinophilia is what they call it, right? And is a species of gut bacteria. Because I think it's very important that you know what this is. I didn't know what it was prior to being educated by the Zuma Worldwide, team, educational support team, right? So don't feel bad if you don't know what this is, because I didn't know what it was, and it's inside of me. It's inside all of us, right? But this is what really highlighted for me personally, not just the glyphosate and the damage that's being done to my gut, that was being done to the gut lining, but just knowing what this is, the acromantia, what its function is, and I treat it like a person. It's like, oh, okay, that's what you're meant to do for me. That's what you was designed for. That's what they was doing to you. Oh, without me knowing, so let me tighten up. Let me love myself a little bit more. Let me get some Zion 365 in my life because that's gonna help me to protect my gut lining by strengthening my Akkermansia mucinophilia, which is a species of gut bacteria that helps to strengthen your gut lining, support your microbiome, health, and protect from disease. Why wouldn't I want to do that? Studies show that akkermansia can be increased by consuming high quality what prebiotics. And that's what we got right here. The nutrients produced when the prebiotic fiber is broken down keeps our friendly gut bacteria, this is where I'm at, right? Nourished, which leads to an increase. That's what I want to do. When I learned about this, I was like, wow, I need to increase upon my acromantia now that I know what it is. That will thicken and strengthen the gut lining to fight against the damaging effects of today's mass produced commercialized food. And even though I'm plant based, I still know that I'm still coming in contact with things that are still not good for me. Why? Because I'm not the one that's growing it, producing it, processing it, manufacturing it. By the time it gets to me in my plate, right? I don't know. I really can't say that I really still know what I'm getting, right? Even if it says it's organic, is it really organic? So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do the best that I can do with my forward and advanced decision making processes, but I'm gonna also make sure that I got this Zion 365. I'm gonna make sure that I got that probiotic. I'm gonna make sure that I do what I could do to protect myself on the back end. So in the eventuality, because let me tell you the example that was given to me that really got my attention, right? I think it's the VP of sales. His name is Ken Marsh, Zuma Worldwide. Like I said, I went to the product, take a pause, tell you a story. I took the trip, went to Hampton, Virginia for the product release. Um, that's when they upgraded the Zuma Blast flavors. They got rid of some and they improved upon the formula, added the superfood mushroom blend to the Zuma Blast that I told you about earlier. But I wanted to know what was this product that they was coming out that was just going to be like a groundbreaking, like a just this phenomenon. It was Zion 365, but he said this. This is what he said. Now, I'm not quoting him literally, but this is what got my attention. You see this right here? You see this? This is what he explained to us. He was like, picture being in your house and you got the plumbing that carries the waste out of the house. You know, everybody knows this, right? Because we're humans, right? But what if there were holes in your pipe, in your sewage pipes? So every time you flushed your toilet, right? What if all of that waste that you want to leave to go out of the house, right? What if it was seeping back into the walls of your house without you knowing it? Eventually, it become a very, very, you know, a familiar but unwanted smell or scent or aroma would start to emanate from your walls. Now, wouldn't it? Well, let's think about internally, right? This is how he broke it down to us. Like, he spoke to my higher senses that I do not want fecal matter and waste material that I'm seeking to cleanse my body to be leaking through the gaps of my gut lining because my acromantia has been compromised because of this. Mass produced commercialized foods, all these toxins and poisons and chemicals that are eroding the builder blocks of our gut lining. So when the waste seeks to try to flow through the internal piping or tubing to exit the body, look, bad bacteria, toxins, undigested food. Now you got leaky gut. So imagine what is supposed to be kept clean, which is your bloodstream. You got fecal matter, bad bacteria, toxins, undigested food seeping through the lining of your gut back into your bloodstream. Look at that. Now you got systematic inflammation. Now you wondering why you got cancer, why you sick, why you this, why you that, why you gaining weight. Why you got all of the whys. But hey, guess what? That's the problem. But just what if you had Zom 365 working for you each and every last single day, according to your own individual needs? Right? It's just a question. Moving right along, but before I do, make sure I give you the retail on the Zom 365. I just wanted to highlight that because I'm definitely gonna get that $10 off special this month. Like I said, folks, if you're already a member, and this would be a perfect month for you to re-up on that Zion 365. So 64.95 retail, 49.99 for a member. You see the great saving? It pays to be a Xooma Worldwide member. I will keep telling you that. Okay, and that's for the jar, right? So you could get this jar. That's for the jar, but you can also get uh individual packs like these little pouches right here. You get 7 of them, right? If you didn't want to do the jar, let's just say you wanted to try it out first or what have you, and you could get 7 individual serving packs for 34.95 retail or 27.95 as a member. So all you gotta do is just take 7 and divide it into $27, and that's your per serving cost. Because like I said, the prices are not for single servings. This is for in that case, this is like a week, right? So, like I said, you do the math. You take the total dollar amount, whether it's retail or members price, and you divide it, right? By the serving. By the you divide it by the day. How much you know how much it is per serving. So with that, I think I've given you enough value on that for you Because like I said, a lot of people tell me, "Oh, I didn't know that product existed. I didn't know about that." Well, let me ask you this: did you know about Pet 2.0? Now, I know you love your animals. I know you love, some people have dogs, some people have cats. Some people have all different types of animals, right? But guess what we have in common with animals? They need healthy water too. They need healthy water too. And as you can see, we've come to the end, right? These are the last two products that I'm gonna highlight, right? It's on the catalog here. Pet 2.0 is the pet grade version of X2O. You see, your furry family members rely on you to care for their health needs. They depending on you to make sure that they get their trace essential minerals. Your animals deserve better than just tap water. You don't want regular tap water. Why are you giving it to your animals? And I know you love your animals, right? I know you love your dogs and your cats and your horses or your cows or or your gerbil or your hamster, right? Whatever it is. Don't their lives matter too? Of course they do. That's why you love them. Get Pet 2.0 for them. This is just X2O, right? In a pet grade version for your furry family members. Okay? So they don't got to be left out. Add more years to their life. I think it's worth it. A lot of people say, hey, what do you got for insomnia? I already told you about metabolized PM, but here's another one. But guess what? Let me tell you a little story. I use this every day. I do one in the morning, one at night. It's 2 caps a serving. But on my run days, I do 4 caps for the day. I do one in the morning, and then when I get back from my run, because I know I've already greatly depleted, I pop 2 after my run, and I do another one. So I do one in the morning on a run day, 2 when I get back from my run, 1 before I go to bed. That's the regimen. You may say, why? Let me tell you something. I had started running, and I had got me some new sneakers, but the way how I rate sneakers is based on how well can they complement my runs. So I noticed that my left knee started hurting me. So I had to kind of like slow down on my squats, slow down on my lunges, right? Because obviously those sneakers, because I run mostly on concrete, they weren't really helping the shock or what have you. So needless to say, I incorporated X2O Plus to my regimen. I'm back doing full-fledged squats, lunges with no interruption, no longer have any pain in my knee. And why? Because this is the same X2O Plus. It delivers the same organic material complex of calcium, magnesium, and 70 other trace essential minerals of the X2O sachet that I told you about, right? Earlier. But the added vitamin D3 to absorb more calcium, the K2, and it's very rich in much more magnesium. You see, hey, I took their advice. Not with I heard them telling people, hey, you may want to add some more X2O plus, to your regimen. And guess what? It works. It worked for me. And if it worked for me, what makes me think that it will not work for you? You see here? So what am I saying? If you're heavily active, if you're in the gym, you heavily into calisthenics, you a runner or whatever it is, you may be the type of person, you may be on a job or whatever, wherein, you got a lot of physical exertion. You may not have time, or you may need more minerals than the average person. And you may not get to drink half of your body weight in fluid ounces of water every day. X2O is a great backup. It's the same X2O trace essential minerals as is in this that's in the sachet and some. So by me combining this with my X2O intake, matter of fact, let me give me a drink of my X2O water right now, because I've been going. Okay, that helped my body with the bone density or whatever it is that I had triggered in my knee. I didn't go to the doctor and say, "Oh, I'm gonna get a knee replacement." No, because that's how much confidence I have in these products on a personal level, and it worked. So now I'm right back to 500 straight squats, no interruption. 620 steps in step lunges, no interruption, no pain. Because how do I test my mobility? the range of motion. So I know that there had been an interruption in my range of motion when I started running in those sneakers, which I replaced, right? But not before it had done me a little damage. But guess what? I'm back 100. You see what I'm saying? So what am I saying? Like I said, if it worked for me, it'll work for you. Hey, folks, this is just for complete transparency. This is if you want to go all the way through the catalog on the PDF, or if you got a physical copy when you get your first Zuma Worldwide package of your choice, you're gonna get one of these catalogs inside of your with along with your order, with your first order, in a book form, in a physical tangible form, but the PDF is attached to the website. I just wanted to take you through it, just me doing my due diligence. This is my service to you as a people, as your fellow Zoom Worldwide member, in case you just didn't know, what you have access to, because knowing is half the battle. The rest is taking action, right? Add some more years to your life, you and your family's life. This is the mission, changing the health of a generation. I do trust and hope that my delivery has been satisfactory, to your expectations, and that you've learned something, that you've gotten some value, more value than you had before. If you're new to my page, my name is Timon Brown. I've been a member of Zoom Worldwide for 6 years and counting. I have absolutely no plans of discontinuing my consumerism and support of this inventory and this amazing company that's been around for over 30 years. It's a foundational company, great group of people. I've met some amazing people. I'm just sharing my experience with you. Like I said, the value's there. Take advantage of it. Work out something within inside of your own specific budget. They have a prosperity plan. I think it'd be remiss of me if I didn't point that out to you. I know you're hearing prices, things like that, but if you love the products as much as I do, if you come to love the products as much as I do, and others all across the nation, all across the world, first of all, Zuma Worldwide is Zuma Worldwide because they ship products literally all around the world to over 60 countries, right? It'll let you know when you check out, just whether or not if you're on that list. But over 60 countries is amazing. So it's not just here in America. But what I wanted to show you is if you wanted to leverage your monthly cost or weekly cost or what have you, you could do what I'm doing and so many other people are doing, right? Step one, all you got to do is make a commitment of $100 for you and your family each month. Step two, personally refer 4 people to become Zoom Worldwide members just like you've done, and then teach them to do the same. And what would you be teaching them? For them to do step one, get their order through you, right? Your free website that the company provides, and they will get 4 members. And that will help you to leverage the cost of your consumerism. So it doesn't have to be an excuse of, oh, well, it's too expensive or it's out of my budget or whatever. You don't have to be without, especially when you, me, your loved ones, your friends, their colleagues, the community of the nation and the community of this world has the ability to have access to what we need to stay healthy. That's the mission of Zoom Worldwide. And not only have they provided us with a phenomenal inventory, exclusive phenomenal inventory, but they've also provided us with ways, economical ways, folks, for us to be able to do so in a way that is affordable to us. So that way, we don't have to use money or the lack thereof as an excuse for not doing things in a better way. It's your brother, Timon Brown. Thanks for tuning in once again. Take care of yourselves. And remember, the life that you change may very well be the life of your own. That may be the very first life that you save. And with that, I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Peace.